Hello there, this is Main, and today we're going to learn how to launch a Meta Ads campaign for lead generation. This is going to be a step-by-step process. If you watch the full video, you'll be able to launch a campaign for your business or for your clients. So let's get started. So the first thing you have to do is you have to go to this URL called adsmanager.facebook.com. And from this drop-down menu, you have to select the right ad account. Once you are on the ad account, you can start crafting your ads and drafting your campaigns. So before you start, I want to give you a quick overview about the Meta Ads campaign hierarchy. So it has campaigns, and inside of each campaign, there are multiple ad sets. And inside of the ad sets, you have ads. Now, it's a lot more like Google Ads. If you're familiar with it, Google Ads has campaign. Inside of the campaign, you have ad groups. And inside of the ad groups, you have ads. Just like here, it's campaign, ad sets, and ads. So now we're going to create a new campaign, and it's going to be a lead generation campaign. So to do that, we're going to click on create. So we are on campaigns level. Make sure that you click here first and then click on create. And buying type, we're always going to use auction. And from all of these options, we're going to select leads because we're running lead generation campaign. Click on continue. So it gives you two options. The first one is where it's all Meta suggested settings and strategies, and it's actually not beneficial for you. They have a lot of the options which are going to cost you more money without giving you better results, and you have less control. For that reason, we're always going to choose manual leads campaign, so we have more control over our optimizations and settings. Once we select manual leads campaign, we're going to click continue. So this is what we see now. We are on campaign level. You see, we're on the campaign level now. So we're going to give our campaign a meaningful name. Let's say we can start with the name of the company or the client that we're working. So let's say it's AdWise. And then it's going to be a lead generation campaign. And we're going to be using lead form here. And I'm going to tell you what a lead form is in a moment. And let's say we're targeting Texas, USA. Once we're done with that, there are some special ad categories like real estate. You see housing, financial services. So if you're running ads for any of these, you have to select them from here. So since we're running ads for a marketing agency, we're not going to select any of this because it doesn't apply to us. Not going to make any changes to this. We selected this option on our previous step when we were creating the campaign. Advantage campaign budget. This one is important. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's say your daily ad budget is $100 and you have two services. So you can target two of those services within this one campaign by creating two different ad sets. And if you select the budget from campaign level from here, you don't have any control over how much of this daily ad budget will be spent on service 1 and service 2. Facebook is going to determine which ad set or service should be spending how much money, right? So there are different use cases for this, but for, let's say, you want to assign $50 for each service as a daily ad budget. So if you want to do that, you should keep this turned off, and we're going to set the budget from ad set level. And when we go to ad set, I'm going to show you how to do that. So we are done here. Let's just review what we have done. We selected a campaign name, and that's it. We haven't made any other changes. Now we're going to click next. So now we are on our ad set level, and let's give it a name. I'll just call it broad ad set, and I'll explain why it's broad. And for conversion, they're giving us a couple of options here. So we said we're going to use Facebook form. So Facebook form, so for lead generation campaign, there are basically two options. Number one is we can either send the traffic to a website or a landing page where they probably have a form, and people submit the form in there, and once the form submission is completed, we count that as one conversion. That's one option. The another option is instant forms, where we create a Facebook form and connect it to our ads. So Facebook users or Instagram users don't have to leave the platform and can submit the information in the instant form, and they can still be on the platform. So depending on the business and service, sometimes we use landing pages and websites, and sometimes we use instant forms. But almost 80 to 90% of the time we use lead forms rather than, website or a landing page for meta ads especially. So we select instant forms, and then make sure that you are selecting the right page from this drop-down menu. If you have access to multiple pages, Facebook or Meta Ads Manager may show you a different page here or select it automatically, the wrong one. So be mindful that you are selecting the right ads. Otherwise, for an example, you're trying to run ads for AdWise, but your selected page is something else. So the ads will be served on that particular page, and that's going to be a big mess. We don't want that. So from the performance goal, if it is a lead generation campaign, I always prefer to choose maximize number of conversion leads. This one usually gives us better leads. So this is my go-to choice. Now come the budget and schedule. Since we did not select budget from the campaign level, we have this option here. If we selected campaign level budget, this option will not be available for us. So we said our daily budget is $100. And we're going to have 2 ad sets. And for this one, we're going to use $50. For start date and end date, we don't really need to make any changes here. Start date can be whatever they're showing us. For end date, we're going to use end date in situations where, let's say, the client probably wants to run ad for, let's say, a sale is happening or a special event is happening, and they want to run ads for 15 days or 30 days. In those cases, we're going to select an end date so that the ad campaign stops when the date expires. But since this is going to be an ongoing ad campaign, we're not going to select anything, and we're going to keep it going as long as we want. From this audience control, we'll have to select the location. So since we're running these ads for taxes, yeah, I think this is a very important section to talk about. So let's say I have a business in Texas and I want to target probably like 30 miles radius to that to my business address. Or I have a business in a specific city and I want to target only 20 miles radius of that particular city. So how do we do that? Let's select a place in Texas like Sugar Land, Texas. We're going to select that and it's giving us an option of how much radius we would like to use. So you can manually drag it from here, or in this box you can just write down how many miles you want to target. So 30 miles and then press enter or return. So it's targeting the 30 miles. For Advantage Plus Audience, this is where we target audiences and different interests. Since this is a broad ad set, we're not going to make any changes to the targeting and audiences. So what is broad targeting actually? So broad targeting is where we're not giving Meta any instruction on what kind of people to target. We're just putting the ads out there and telling Meta that, okay, here is my ad copy, here is my creative. Now show the ads to the people you think that are going to convert better. So Meta's algorithm is going to do their own thing and present it in front of the people that they think are more likely to, interact with our ads or convert as a lead. So let's go back and review what we have done so far. We gave our ad set a name. We have selected instant forms. We have selected our Facebook page. Our performance goal is maximize number of conversion leads, not the maximized number of leads. And then we selected our daily budget. We set our location with a radius. And note that we are on ad set level now. So once we're done with all of that, we're going to click next. Now this takes us to the actual ad section. This is where we're going to craft our ads. We're going to design our ads. How do we do that? So let's start with the naming. It's better to have a naming convention so that you can be organized and you know what you are doing, what kind of ad it is. So let's say it's an image ad and it's in February and it's ad number, let's say 1 or 101. Make sure the right page is showing up here. And after that, if you have an Instagram account connected to your Facebook page, it's going to automatically pop up here. For whatever reason, if it doesn't, that means there is no Instagram account or page is connected to this page. And that's totally fine because Facebook will still run ads on Instagram using your Facebook ID name. Now from this ad setup, select single image or video. So they're giving you two options, whether you want to use carousel or single image or a single video. So for lead generation, we mostly do single images or single videos. Multi-advertiser ads, I don't usually use this one. I use this when I'm running ads for e-commerce. Now from this ad creative section, click setup creative. You can either use an image or a video. So I'm going to select image. And from this pop-up window, I'm going to click on media. And I'm going to select an image. So there are many ways you can upload a picture here. You can upload by drag and drop, or you can click on upload and select from where you want to upload the files from. So let's say I want to use this image. Let's click on there. Oh, let's take a better picture. Let's take this one. Turn this off because sometimes it kind of messes up with the image. Facebook sometimes present your image in such a way that you don't want to, present in front of your audience. It messes up your image sometime. And I would say anything that has to do with AI, turn it off completely on Meta ads because they're not there yet. They messes up a lot of things. There you go. One other important thing about creative is there are different placements in Meta, right? Let's say, let's take Facebook as an example. You have your news feed, you have stories, you have your profile, you have marketplaces inside of it. So they're like different placements. And on desktop, there are other placements as well, sidebar and whatnot. So in order for the images to be presented properly and fit properly, I recommend using 3 different sizes. One is square size, another is 9:16, and another one is horizontal. So we don't have an image like that right now, so I can't show you that. But you have the aspect ratios here, how to create the proper images. Anyways, so once we're done selecting the media, we're going to click on next. And we will turn off every AI thing and enhancements. So let's turn them off one by one. Once we're done turning all of them off, click done. So the image is added. Now we're going to be adding ad copies. So primary text is the description of the ads. Usually this is quite lengthy, where you basically sell your product or service through your ad copies. And let me write something down here so that you see where exactly the text shows up. This is a primary text. You see it's showing up here. So once we're done adding primary text, the next thing is headline, and it shows up here. And headlines should not be more than 1 sentence. It should be precise and deliver a message or ask for a call to action. So for an example, if it's a marketing agency, I can use something like, get more leads in 30 days. For description, I usually keep it off. So to do that, we just put a space here. And that way my headline is more visible. There is no distraction. For call to action, there are multiple options that Meta will give you. Depending on the product or service you sell, you can select or understand which one to use, right? If it's an e-commerce, we're gonna use probably shop now, right? If you're trying to like what to use. But in most cases, we use learn more for lead generation. And this is the enhancement section. We turned most of the things off on our previous step when we uploaded the creative. But let's click on there again. And basically, we want to turn anything and everything from here that has any enhancement. There's only one thing we're going to keep it on. That is a relevant comment. So people who are commenting or interacting with our ads, we just want to use that. We want to keep them. We want to show them. There is an easier way to turn everything off rather than going one by one. You just turn on everything at once and then turn it off from that button. So everything has been turned on. Turned off. So now I'm just gonna keep this one on and then click save. You see, everything has been turned off except the comments. So once we're done, let's go back again here. So we gave the ad a name. We made sure the page is correct. We're using single image or video. We added the creative. We added the ad copy. We added headline. Description is always going to be empty and we're just going to put a space here. We added call to action. We turned off all the enhancements except relevant comments. Now we'll have to create a form, you know, the one where people are going to submit their information like this. This is a form, right? So let me show you how to create a form like this. What you'll have to do is you'll have to click on create form, and then let's give it a name. Let's call it Advice Form 102. Form type. Do we want more volume or higher intent or rich creative? If it's a new account, we recommend to use more volume in the beginning because client expectation is really high in the beginning. And this one helps you to get more leads in the beginning. But after running ads for some time, if you see that the quality of the leads are not that great, that's when we want to use higher intents. So for this one, I'll keep more volume and then I'm going to click next. For intro section, you don't necessarily have to use an intro, but I think it's better if you have a good intro here. And it just looks more professional and gives you more qualified leads. So let's put a headline in here. Get 40 plus leads each month. There you go. So we added a headline, we added a description. Now click on next. So there are two types of questions, right? This is where we collect leads information, their name, email address, and phone number. And here they give us options. By they, I mean Meta gives us option for us to ask question to the users and collect specific kind of information. For an example, I want to ask some questions so that I can pre-qualify them. So let's use a multiple choice question here. I want to ask them how they are getting leads right now. And then I can add different options here. Is it paid ads? Is it through referral or other? You see? And then I have the option to, so this was a multiple choice question, right? There are other options as well where they can write something. They can put an input. So the question can be, what's your monthly marketing budget, right? So the question 2 has been added. And if you go to the question 2, you see, what's your monthly marketing budget? They can type their answer here. So you can ask as many questions as you want, but I think it's better to not ask too many questions. Only ask questions that are really necessary. The more question you have, the more difficult it is for them to answer this question, the less it's going to be, the number of your leads. Now in this section, I usually put here, fill your info or something like that. And I don't like the order here, the default one, because there is a psychology behind it. You can look into that. So you should always be asking for their name first and their email address. Once they give you their name and email address, it's much easier for them to give you their phone number now, because these are personal and sensitive information that people don't like to share on the internet, right? Here you have other options like, you can ask for their company name, probably like where they live, their zip code and stuff. You can look into that, like what other option you have, and I'd say don't ask too many questions, If you don't need any information, don't just add it here. Keep it as simple as possible. So once we're done with that, let's go to the next section, which is privacy policy. Now, every websites usually have a privacy policy page. So just copy and paste it here. But for whatever reason, if your website or if your client's website don't have any privacy policy page, just put the URL here. And you're good. And this is the last page. Once they submit their information, they receive this message. You can customize it however you like, And then once they are done submitting the form, you have a couple of options here. You can send these people into a landing page or your website, or you can let them download a PDF or some kind of file. Or you can add a phone number here so that they can directly call your business. So this call to action button, you can actually edit this one as well. Visit our website. Or you can add anything that makes sense to you. And this link is where they're going to go when they click here. So I'll probably add my website here. And when they click here, they go to Advice Consulting's main website. So once you're done editing everything, before you create the form, I would ask you to go through everything one more time and make sure that everything is correct and just like the way you want it. Because once you create the form, Meta doesn't give you the option to edit this form anymore. If you need to make any changes or tweak anything, you have to create another form. So once we are happy with everything, we just click on create form. And make sure, if you have multiple forms here, make sure that you have selected the right one. And after that, just click publish. So your ad is published now. Let's go back to the campaign level. Let's cross it out. Now you see, once you publish the ads, it goes through a review process by Facebook. It usually takes like 30 minutes or so, and sometimes it may take a few hours. So once it's approved by Meta, the ads will start serving and you're going to start receiving leads and clicks on your ads. On our next video, we're going to learn more about targeting because we only discussed broad targeting here. So what if we want to target, people with specific interests and how that can be helpful, why interest targeting is important. We're going to talk more about it. But in the meantime, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions about paid ads, whether it's Meta or Google ads, or if you're having any difficulties about your campaigns, feel free to reach us or make a comment, and I'll be here to help you. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a good one.